Welcome to Godenick Astrology here at Salton Studios. And we have my co-host, Tanner Gilliland.
There's actually 5 more ILs in my last name than you pronounced.
I got it wrong again.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, on today's show, we will be talking about, it has things to say about, your personality, what you're like, your life, a lot of things. So, shall I just jump into the chart?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Tell me what's up.
So first of all, Donald Trump is a sun in Gemini. Sorry for folks who are Geminis, like some people I know.
I thought there was something identical about Donald Trump and me.
Yeah, you guys are kind of similar, I guess, in some ways, like both being the center of attention in some regards.
What?
You're a star yourself.
An imploding star.
So Donald Trump, sun in Gemini, and the most notable thing that I'm seeing with his chart is that his sun is right next to the planet Uranus. And this could be either, a really radical, progressive, revolutionary, looking to the future type of person, or Sun and Uranus could be a wild card.
I just want to say respect for not making the obvious Donald Trump next to Uranus joke. I'm sure you hear that way too many times in your field.
Oh yeah, pretty much every day.
Yeah,
I avoided that
too
one.
much. Good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's a wild card,
He's
capable
a wild
of
card.
anything.
Pretty much capable of anything. Very much so, surprising the American public on a daily basis.
Donald Trump is the guy at the party who you can pay to do just the worst thing, hey, if for a certain price and if we yell do it and you're cool, he'll do literally anything.
Anything.
Hey guys, I'm just going to jump in here and fix
Is this a personal dig, Laura? Do you have beef with me? Because I'm ready to hear it.
We didn't talk about that another time.
I would rather air our grievances.
Well, the two-faced nature of Gemini can be really great because Geminis have an amazing ability to jump from social scene to social scene and can connect with a variety of people and can have a lot of friends and be able to, jump into any conversation and they're great at that. But the more negative side of two-faced, I guess, is just showing one side, but then being another, being kind of sneaky could be a negative thing about Geminis. But I would say the main thing with Donald Trump's chart is the sun next to Uranus, the wild card feature. Yeah, I mean, we can't really say much just about the fact that his sun's in Gemini, about his
Well, I think that stands up to what we know about Donald Trump, just a two-facedness. He's like a pathological liar.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly.
But he's not successful because he's a good businessman. He's successful because he's a good propagandist.
Right.
He knows how to just get his name out there relentlessly.
Totally.
So he has learned how to chum up to people of any crowd.
Yeah, no, Gemini is definitely a charmer, or I guess there's a tendency for that. And Donald Trump for sure says a lot of things that just aren't true, even though that may be what the public wants to hear. So yeah. So all the Geminis out there, don't be two-faced jerk.
The
Pretty
Gemini
much.
in me sees the Gemini in him. He's the evil dark twin on the other side of the glass.
You can connect a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the next feature that I wanted to point out is that Donald Trump has a rising sign in Leo. So the rising sign is the face that you show the world initially. It's kind of like the first impression you give people. It's how people first see you. And once again, for those of you who have Leo rising, don't take this personally. Not everyone is like this.
I love Leos.
Leos are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so confident and loyal and loving. Noble. Totally. The one thing about Leos, and this once again could be, positive or negative, is that they really love being the center of attention. Leos need to perform.
And often deserve it.
Totally, absolutely, and often they're quite good at it, right? Yeah, definitely. But sometimes, Leo energy can definitely, or the sign of Leo can really want to attract attention at all costs. And then there's just like this, there can be a quality of like, look at me, look at me. Like,
Isn't that should be Donald Trump this next election slogan? What did you say?
look at me,
cost?
look at me.
No, what at any cost?
Attention
at any cost.
Attention at any cost. Hashtag Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And so with the rising sign in Leo, there's this sense of like wanting to be seen as being the center of attention. Leo is also ruled by the sun, which in ancient astrology is connected to royalty or to the king. And so there's definitely a quality that I've noticed with Donald Trump of expecting special attention, or this like maybe sense that he's royal in some way, that he like
In literally every way.
way.
Have you seen his house? It's like a gold-plated nightmare.
I
It's
haven't seen
disgusting.
his house. That
He
sounds
is like totally like gilded. It's
No way.
so in such poor taste. It's horrific.
Oh,
He
I
looks
didn't
like
know that.
I forget his name. Am I allowed to swear on your show?
That's fine. It's
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
The fault in my words. Stars, I don't know.
Oh, are we moving on? Oh,
Oh
okay.
my God.
No?
Well, last thing I wanted to say about Donald Trump's birth chart is he's got a Mars right on his ascendant. And, I also have Mars on my ascendant, so this is not like, I'm not dissing on myself or anything. But this kind of goes along with the same thing of can be very impulsive. Mars is the planet of war. It's a planet that describes how we take action, our pace in the world. It's the planet of what you want. And it can be very impulsive. And on the rising sign, especially in Leo, there's kind of an emphasis on the action that Trump takes is for him, for benefiting him, because the rising sign is the sign of me, of self.
Mm-hmm.
And so with Mars, the planet of action on the rising sign, I mean, we can really see how most of his actions really are to benefit him, right? And
At any cost.
at any cost. So that's the main things I have about Trump's chart. I mean,
So overall, it seems pretty makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's other parts. Well, actually, no, never mind. Trump's a jerk.
We
There's
can just
nothing
sum
good
it up
about
to
his-
him being a Gemini, and that pretty much sums it up, folks. Geminis
Exactly.
beat it. Cool. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Be fun to go
interesting
through some
stuff.
other folks one of these times.
You mean like right now?
Yeah, if y'all, now, yes, in fact, we can. We prepared, and by we, I mean, yeah, we prepared a little game, and so I selected beforehand a couple people to just show their birth chart up here on the screen, and then you're going to tell us a little bit about their personality, and then we're going to find out who it is.
Okay.
And I will give you a hint. They're all famous stoners. Today is 420. And so if that helps narrow it down at all.
Okay.
Then,
All right.
Okay, Laura, you have to close your eyes for a moment.
Oh, okay. Closing my eyes.
Are you seeing the answer up on the screen, Tanner?
No.
You shouldn't be. Okay, great. Okay, Laura, you can open your eyes.
Okay. I still see Trump's chart. I don't want to see that ever again. Get out of my
When
sight.
even his chart is distressing.
Yes. I almost had a heart attack when I was looking at it before.
You're like, ah.
Okay.
Should be seeing it.
Yeah,
I
we're
am seeing
a
it.
new
Oh.
chart. So tell us a little bit about
Chart number 1.
chart number 1.
Well, the first thing that I always look at is the sun. And in this chart, the sun is in Sagittarius in the 7th house, which is the house of relationships and other people. And so clearly there's a huge focus for this person on relationships and potentially just kind of other people in general. The moon is there as well, so that is interesting. They're right together. Is that the moon in Scorpio, I believe? Moon in Scorpio next to Pluto. Interesting. Okay, so Sun in Gemini. Or sorry. God, Donald Trump is still in my brain. Sun in Sagittarius in the 7th house. This would be definitely someone who's very enthusiastic towards or about other people. There's definitely, Sagittarius has an element of faith or belief or believing in possibility. So this might be someone who, this could be like, well, I guess a famous person. They wouldn't be like a counselor. And if you have a hint, if I'm getting warm.
I mean, I don't know who this person is. This is Sam's magic here.
That's right. All right. Well, this person is definitely in some way very focused on other people and on relationships for sure. There's an element of enthusiasm with Sagittarius. The moon in Scorpio. The moon is all about how we are on an emotional level and what our instincts and needs are. And right next to Pluto, both Pluto and Scorpio are very much so about digging beneath the surface and investigating and researching. And it being like on the cusp of the 7th house makes me think this person might be very investigative in researching maybe other people in some way. They could also be very private and very kind of secretive about relationships or about being known by other people. There's definitely a quality of being hidden or, hide, kind of wanting to be a little bit more private. There's definitely an element with the moon next to Pluto and right next to the sun of really needing other people and relationships as though it were kind of a life or death like crisis, or as though it's like comes down to life or death, like really needing that. Can the chart come back up, Sam?
Yes, it can.
Or we can find, I think that's a pretty good sum up of the...
Yeah, that's like just looking at the sun and moon.
You who it was if you
Oh,
give any hints.
cool.
Oh, okay. Well,
Cool.
can you give me some hints?
Oh, great. I think we should just find out who it is. Sam, who is behind chart number 1? Which star? Oh, Miley Cyrus.
Oh, interesting.
Who grew up with
Okay.
us as millennials, representing the generation there.
All right. Well, now we know a little bit about Miley Cyrus that maybe she didn't project onto the screen too much.
I felt like you hit it on the head. Very invested in personal relationships. A lot of her songs, especially her more famous ones, are about relationships. And the last thing I heard from her was about some kind of breakup with some kind of person. And so
Seems to be right on par.
Yep. Cool. Chart number...
All right.
And why, I'm just curious, is she smoking in this picture?
Because it's 420. This is the 420 edition of Stars, Stars, and the Fault in Our Czars.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Next one, coming up
All right.
soon. Close your eyes for a second. Can you know the stuff at the bottom?
Stuff at the bottom.
Or is it...
I see a logo bar, and that's it.
Okay, you can look.
Okay.
Oh, we've got a chart.
Wow, all these people are like, all of their planets are in the 7th house. That's interesting.
What does that mean?
Well, the 7th house is the house of relationships and partnership and other people. And so oftentimes when like personal planets like the sun or the moon are over there, there's this quality of like needing another person to know yourself better, or like maybe even belonging to other people, or like really relying on relationships for your sense of self.
And maybe that speaks to being a public figure, as someone who
Yeah,
gets
totally.
so much value from being seen and known by the public.
Right.
Affecting some change or good or expression.
For sure, for sure. Yeah. Okay. So this person, Sun in Libra, pretty much on the 7th house again. Similar concept of needing other people or relationships being very important to their sense of self. Wow, interesting. Another Moon and Scorpio person. You have a theme going on here for who you've chosen. Okay, well, yeah, it's kind of similar, maybe a little bit. Moon and Scorpio people tend to be like to be really interesting to people because they can be a little bit like private, you know? So they can be very like, I don't know, like sexy because it's like, who are you really?
Oh, I think sexy sums up this next one.
Okay. And like Venus right there too. Venus is the planet of love and how we attract and how we unite with others. And Venus and Scorpio is definitely like, can be that like kind of like naughty person, you know, like.
Oh, I think we've definitely got a naughty person.
Yeah, totally. Like people being drawn to Venus and Scorpio because there's like something so like, I don't know, just like who is this person? Like why they're so like intoxicating or something of that nature. Let's see. It's hard to kind of see the aspects being made by the sun. I don't know. Is there a way to like, I don't know if with the chart, was there like a grid underneath the picture?
Oh, yeah.
Can you like scroll down? Can I just see that for a second?
Stand by.
Thanks. While we're waiting for that. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. Sunshine, Mars. Okay, you can go back up. Thanks. So in general, this person, so they have the Sun trine Mars. Mars is the planet of our action and our energy. They would probably have no problem getting what they want or doing what they want. You know, Mars ruling our energy. And Mars in the 11th house, the house of people of influence and hopes and high wishes.
High wishes, you say?
Yes.
How high of wishes?
Well, it depends on how high they would like to get, or...
Something tells me it's going to be pretty high level.
Well, in this case... whenever we have...
psychic.
I mean, just in general with Mars, they're definitely, like, their energy is directed towards, like, being known in some way or being of influence or having... I mean, and obviously this is a famous person, so they would be known or have high influence in their life. But yeah, I think...
High influence, huh? Well, should we find out who our high
Yes.
influencer is?
Yes, let's find out. I would just say mainly just sexy. This person must be...
You want to give her any final hints? You want
Yeah,
any guesses?
yeah, you want to try a guess?
Oh gosh. Is this...
I'll tell you, it's a male.
It's a male, okay.
Yeah. A musician.
A musician. Are they still alive?
Yes.
Do you think I would have listened to them?
At some point.
Especially if you smoke weed every day.
Well, that's not something that I do every day, so I don't know.
Or ever.
Or ever.
If we got cops watching.
I don't think I have a guess.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. No.
I was going to say, if you want to snoop around a little bit. Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Snoop Dogg, okay.
The artist formerly known as Snoop Lion.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I have noticed that a lot of rappers have Mercury in Scorpio. That is interesting. Yeah.
Interesting.
Should have guessed.
That sounds like something that Kanye would have.
Maybe. I know, who's that guy? Oh my God. Not Justin Timberlake. What's the other? What's the white rapper? Who's
Which one?
like
Vanilla Ice. Eminem.
Eminem. He's also got like Libra Scorpio. He's got a Scorpio or a Mercury in Scorpio, and there's that like intensity with words because Mercury rules our minds and how we talk. And
That makes sense.
And Scorpio is like ruled by Mars, the god of war. So there's like this cutting quality to words and like just this really intensity, you know?
Yeah.
So that fits with Snoop Dogg as well, I think.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a shame we can't. We could put in 9 seconds of one of their songs before we get copyright striked. All right.
The next chart I am just down.
Does Laura need to shield her eyes?
Oh, yes.
Shouldn't need to, but you never know what might go wrong. So on this one, you just have to like hints until you guess it. This is like the lightning round, basically.
Lightning round. All right.
Gosh, this one wasn't in the thing.
Stand by.
Standing by. Green team, standing by.
Here we go. Coming right up. 1, 2, 3.
Alrighty. Wow, another person with sun in that part of the chart. So this time they
This one
have
looks a little more.
a little more spread out, huh? This time this person's got the sun in Leo in the 6th house. Okay, first of all, is this person a celebrity? Right?
Yeah, well
Okay.
known.
Well known. Okay. So sun
Pretty
in Leo.
well known.
Okay. Well, they've got to be with sun in Leo. There's that performance.
sun is in
quality,
Leo?
though. Yeah.
Of course. Of course.
So there's definitely a performance quality to this person needing to be this, maybe like to be the center of attention, to be the star. You know.
For sure.
And like with
and
this,
they do.
so with the sun in the 6th house, the 6th house is the house of work and service and kind of like daily routine. So with the sun here in Leo, like part of their work would be maybe being the center of attention, like being like a comedy, like a person in comedy or something.
Good sense of humor.
Yeah, good sense of humor. Kind of looks like their relationship sector is a little bit crazy.
How crazy?
Like, I mean, they have, well, Uranus is in there, which is the planet of the wild card. So kind of abrupt changes possibly in their relationships in their personal life, or having like kind of weird or like unusual relationships. Things that are kind of out of the norm, I guess
think
I should say.
by chance, they're like by virtue of their work, their relationships may be like
Very weird.
well, just like under a lot of scrutiny, and who knows how that plays into a relationship.
Right. I mean, okay, so this is the aspect grid. This is just for me to kind of, it's kind of hard to like, maybe in the future, ideally it'd be good to have the chart and the grid together for me so I can kind of like go back and forth, but
Cool.
yeah. Moon, Sun square Neptune. Okay. Back to the chart. Okay. Yeah, they have a lot of planets in the 7th house of relationships. Kind of looks like, unusual relationships being seen as different. A lot of intensity there with Pluto, like maybe some, like, Pluto can be a little bit controlling.
Likes to be chief, like commander, likes to be chief, likes to be
likes
center
to
of
be in
attention.
charge, like in
Gotcha.
relationships.
All
Like
right.
that would be Pluto. And also Mars is there too, and Mars is also like, do this. Like it's kind of the planet of
And
action.
you said war.
Yeah.
He could potentially be a war criminal.
Possibly. Is it? Is this a person who's
Theory.
That's one theory.
also, so there's 2 planets in
He or she.
Okay, well, the moon on the bottom of the chart makes me think this person is actually like quite private in nature, or just like, their sun is they want to be seen, but they might use that as an element to like hide their emotional self.
Do you have any 20 questions as you're reading this?
That would be fun.
Is this person a criminal? Or is that where you were going?
No, I was just making it. I mean, history will decide.
Okay.
I say probably.
Well, there's there's 2 planets in the 12th house of places of isolation, including hospitals, prisons, convents, monasteries, and like drug addiction, what's it called? Like when people go to like rehab. Mm-hmm. Has this person been in rehab at all?
I don't know that they've been in rehab, but they are or have at least at some point been stoners. So
okay, so they've done okay. That's 12th house is like drugs as well. So, but maybe like getting out of control with drugs, like an element of like, kind of like 12th house is like secret enemies or self-undoing. So like being your own enemy through
I'm sure
vices.
They have plenty of secret enemies. Actually, I think they were addicted for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they also smoked cigarettes.
Okay.
Or still do.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have any guesses yet?
I don't have enough information. Venus in the 5th house makes me think they've had maybe a lot of love affairs.
That will be fun to find out.
Or that's
true.
Or that's not like something. Okay, first of all, if you have Venus in the 5th house, I'm not saying that you would definitely have a love affair. Like
just that things could be.
Yeah, well, just that Venus. The 5th house is the house of love and fun and romance and pleasure, and Venus is how we unite and attract with others. And Venus in the 5th house just loves to have fun and just loves romance. So there's going to be like a tendency towards like having affairs. So, like with Venus, but in particular.
Could it be like having a really good relationship? Like
yeah, it could be like really fun and creative relationship.
Say maybe their relationship is like a much better model of what a good, happy, stable relationship looks like in contrast to somebody else's relationship who now holds the same position that they once used to.
Sure. Yeah. I don't think I have any guesses. I feel maybe, I don't know.
All right.
Unless you have any more clues.
I can't think of any. Let's find out who it is.
Who is this person? Unless do you have any clues for me?
Well, this person, no, I don't.
Okay.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Barack Hussein Obama.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Famous stoner and president of the United States. Former.
Okay. Well, there's definitely the sun in Leo being definitely the center of attention for quite some time.
Yeah. I tried to throw out commander and chief.
Oh, okay. That was good. Yeah. What did he? Can I see his chart one more time? Now that I know who it is. This is a hard game, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know that you're supposed to guess. It's interesting to piece it together. I feel like I learned about astrology doing this.
Oh, yeah, very cool. Okay, yeah. The 6th house, work and service, with the sun there, definitely, I would say being president is like being of service to the country. It's like a public, what is it called? Like a public servant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is a great example of something we were talking about earlier as interpreting astrology as not like a star is, or a planet is in this alignment, therefore you'll be president of the United States.
Oh,
Obviously
yeah.
that's not the case.
Right.
But there is an archetype of the type of person who is involved in public service on whatever scale that may be,
right.
big or small.
Totally. Yeah, the thing about astrology is like it is really using images and archetypes and mythology and symbolism to like learn about like our lives. And so it's like, it's very broad, and clearly like we're all made up of, well, in astrology at least, we're all comprised of the 12 symbols or signs, but we're all so different. So yeah. Well, I think that might be all for today.
Yeah.
Tune in next time. Who knows when that'll be? Maybe next week, for another episode of
Laura Godenick Astrology.
Laura Godenick Astrology.